Alright guys, so let us get started with our next category, and that is regarding the text functions. So again, the same criteria we will be following from our side. We will be going forward with each and every single text function that we are having. So we will be exploring the syntax of each and every single function, and then we will be looking into the practical implementation of some of the most important text functions that we are having, right? So let us get into the practical. First of all, let us have a look upon the brief introduction about what all functions we are having, the syntax, and what each and every single function used to provide us. Right. So the first function that we are going to have is length function. So len. So you can simply call it as length function. So you might would have already came across this length function if you are aware about Python and SQL. As in both of the scenarios, you might would have came across the length function, right? So what exactly this length function, how exactly it can be represented? It can be represented by len, right? So in the len, you will be passing that specific column, which is consisting of the proper text from where you want to extract out the number of characters that are present in this text, right? So for example, let us go forward with this specific example itself, that is the category name. So now if I'm interested in the total number of characters that are present in bikes, then that is going to be around 5. So length of bikes is going to be 5. In a similar way, length of clothing is going to be 8, right? So that's exactly how this length function used to work. So if you are interested in looking forward to the number of characters which are present in your string, then you can simply go forward with the length function, right? So it returns number of characters that are there in your string, right? That is something you can get by making the use of your first function. And now let us get into our second function, and that is going to be the concatenate function, right? So now this concatenate function will be used whenever you want to add or whenever you want to join the two strings together. So we have already explored about this concatenate function again in case of Python. So you might would have seen that whenever we are having two strings, and that if we want to join together, then we can simply go forward with this concatenate operation. There is also one of the operation or one of the function that we can make the use of if I want to join the two strings together, and that is a single ampersand, right? So you can also make the use of this single ampersand, wherein if you want to join multiple strings together, So if you are not interested in joining two strings only, but if you are interested in joining more than two strings, then you can go forward with this ampersand sign, right? So we will be exploring about this ampersand in the practical implementation itself, and we will be looking into that why exactly ampersand or that and sign. By ampersand, I mean to say this specific sign, right? So why exactly we are interested in this specific sign to join the strings together, that we will be looking into the practical implementation. So first of all, let us have a look upon the syntax of concatenate. So you have to simply go forward with writing the function name. You have to mention the first text, and then you have to mention the second text. And then this concatenate function will be helping you out to join two strings together, right? So that is that strings together into one, you can call it as. So you can simply go forward with this concatenate function, and then we can go forward with our next function, and that is going to be upper lower, right? Now exactly we make the use of upper lower is to simply convert the given string into a uppercase or lowercase format, right? So for example, if I want to keep my accessories text into a proper uppercase, wherein each and every single character over here should be converted into a proper capital letter format, then we can go forward with this uppercase. On the other hand, if I want each and every single character over here to be getting converted into a lowercase format or into a small letter, then we can go forward with lowercase, right? So the syntax is going to be the same. Either you can go forward with upper, or you can go, I can simply write it as so that it will be more easily understandable to you. You can either go forward with upper if you want to convert it to uppercase, or you can go forward with lower if you want to convert it to lowercase, right? But the point is that whenever I'm specifying the text in my input, so that text is going to be that specific column which is consisting of the text data, right? You don't really have to write explicitly that text, but you have to mention that specific column which is consisting of this text data, right? So that is something you can get over here. So you will be able to convert, or it returns an uppercase or lowercase format data, right? So this is something you can get by making the use of your third function, and that is uppercase and lowercase. And now let us focus upon the next function, and it is a quite important function, right? Just because we will be exploring about it in the practical implementation as well, and that is left, right, or mid. So for example, if you're interested in looking forward to the first three characters of your given string. So for example, if I'm interested in extract, so you might would have already seen that you were extracting out some details from the given string, and we were actually specifying that what is the number of position up till which I want to extract out the data. So by the number of position, what I exactly mean to say is that if I'm only interested in extracting out the first three characters of my given string, then I can simply specify that number, and via making the use of this function, that is left, right, and mid, you will be able to extract out some part of the whole string. And on the basis of whether if you're starting from the left side while the extraction, or if you're starting from the right part, or if you're trying to extract the mid part, on that basis you can go forward with this left, right, or mid. But the functionality is completely there in that way that we are basically trying to extract out some data from our given string, right? So that is something you can get over here. So let me show you the syntax for it. So for the left, you can go forward with writing the syntax as same as that of right. So either you can write this syntax for right as well. So let me show it to you both, that how we can exactly write this left data extraction or text extraction syntax. So you have to first of all mention that text column. Then you can mention that how many number of characters you are interested in, right? So for as I was already telling you this thing that you can simply extract out the data as the first three characters from your string. That is completely up to you. So that is something you can pass as a second parameter over here. The similar syntax you can get over here for extracting out the data. So this will be mentioning, this left function will be mentioning that you are able to extract out the data from the left side. But what if you want to extract out the information from the right side of the text? Like for example, if I'm interested in looking forward to extracting out the data as the last four characters from my given string, and you can see that from the right side I will be able to extract out RIES. In a similar way, over here, I will be able to extract out IKES. So like that, it used to work. So we will be looking into the practical implementation of this left function as well in this video itself. So first of all, let me show you the syntax. So similar kind of syntax you will get to see. You have to simply mention the text and you have to mention the number of characters from your side. And there is one more thing that you have to look upon, and that is if you're not exactly explicitly mentioning the number of characters from your side, then this function will be taking just one character as a count, right? So it will be able to extract out only one character from the overall string from the left side, or it will be able to extract out only one character from the right side. And that's exactly how it used to work, right? And then in a similar way, you can go forward with writing, you will be going forward with extracting out the information from the mid side, right? So you have to pass on that specific column, which is consisting of the text data, and then you have to mention the start position, right? So what is exactly going to be a start position? So by a start position, I mean to say an index, right? So if you want to start getting the data, or if you want to get started with extracting out the information from the position 2 or 3, then that position you can specify over here, right? And then from the position 2 or 3, how many number of characters you want to extract out, that is something again you can pass over here. So in the next parameter, you will be passing the number of characters. So parameter is by parameter you already might be aware about, if you are coming from a coding background, again, that parameter is going to be that value which you are going to pass in this function, right? So whatever value you are going to pass in this function, that will be referred as a parameter over here. All right. So parameter argument, whatever you can call it as, we won't be going into the practical implementation of it, or into deep into it. But what exactly this mid function is specifying to us is that we are trying to extract out the information from the mid part, and we are just specifying the start position, that what is going to be the starting index, and then how many number of characters I want to extract over here, right? So that will be something regarding the left, right, or mid, and then we can go forward with our next function, and that is going to be the substitute function, right? So substitute will be working in a way wherein you will be able to extract out the information from, or you will be able to simply replace a part of the string with respect to some another string. So for example, if you want to substitute, or if you want to replace a specific part of your string, then you have to make the use of this function, right? So let me first of all show you the syntax for it. So you have to go forward with writing this function as substitute, and then you will be passing on that specific column which is consisting of the text data. Then you will be mentioning that what is exactly your old text, and then that is by old text I mean to say that what is going to be that specific text part which you want to replace with respect to your new text. So for example, if I want to replace IK from my bikes, right? Then that old text is going to be IK. And then if I want to keep RK over there, then my new text is going to be RK. So in that way, you can think about it, right? And then you can simply go forward with writing the instance number over there as well. So what is exact? So that means where exactly this old text is occurring, right? So that is something you can pass from your side. That is completely optional. So the substitute will be helping you out to replace an instance of a text. Let me write it over here. Replace an instance of text with new text in a string, right? So this is something you can get from your substitute function, and let us go forward with our final function that we are having, and that is the search function. So we can go forward with this search function if I'm interested in looking forward to searching for a specific string into my overall string, right? Like for example, if I'm having an overall string and it is consisting of a specific part in which I'm quite interested at, then I can simply go forward with this search function that will be helping me out to search for that specific part in the overall string, and we can simply return the position that where exactly that specific part is getting started from. So for example, that specific part or the specific string in that overall string is at position 3 or 4, then this search function will be giving us that value, and that is going to be 3 or 4, right? Based on what position that specific string is getting started from, right? So this is something you can specify from your side. So let us go forward with writing it, that what we exactly mean by that. So you have to first of all mention that what exactly that is, that text that you want to find out from your side, and then within which specific text you are specifying. So find text is going to be that particular text which you want to find by making the use of your search function, right? And then within text is going to be that specific column which is consisting of that text. And then start position you can specify from your side. That means that where exactly, so if you want to mention that from which specific part you want to do the searching, like for example, if your string or if your string part is located at the position 7 or 8, and if you want to start searching from position 4 or 5, then that start position you can also specify in your search function as a parameter. This is again something up to you, and then if it is not found, so for example, if you're not able to find it, then what is going to be that there is going to be a value that you can specify from your side, right? Like just because the search function was not able to find out this value, so what is going to be that value it can return if, on not finding that specific value, right? So this is something you can specify by making the use of your search function itself. And this is all about the search function, right? So let me give you the proper description about the search function. So it returns the position where the specified string or character is found from left to right. Right, this thing you always have to make sure from your side that whenever you are trying to search for a specific part, you would always gonna be getting started from the left side itself. You won't be getting started with the right direction to search for that specific part. And that is a kind of bit obvious, right? So these are going to be the 6 functions that you're going to have as your text functions. And now we will be looking into the practical implementation of each and every, not exactly each and every single function, but some of the important functions that we're having over here, right? So let us look upon one of the practical implementation, and that is regarding the concatenate function, right? So let us jump into our table view, and let us look upon our customer lookup table, right? So in our customer lookup table, you can see that we are having the columns over here as prefix, first name, and last name. So what if I want to come up with a column which is giving me the details about the full name, right? That is going to be the combination or concatenate operation between prefix, first name, and last name. But one thing I've already mentioned to you that whenever you are going forward with the concatenate operation, you can't go forward with more than 2 columns, right? Like you can only take reference of max to max 2 columns, right? Like first name, last name, onto these columns, I can apply the concatenate operation, but I won't be able to apply the concatenate operation with respect to prefix, right? And there is also one thing I would like to show it to you over here when I will be creating this string or this full name via making the use of this ampersand operation. And I will be showing you that why exactly that ampersand operation is going to be too much effective as compared to that of concatenate, right? Let me show it to you over here. Let me get into my new column. All right, so my new column name is full name. Now this full name is going to be the combination of my prefix. Let me search for the prefix. All right, this prefix I'm having, and I don't really want to apply this concatenate operation over here. So I will be making the use of the single ampersand. So the prefix I will be looking forward to, and then I will be searching for a space, right? As let me not show you that how exactly the space is working at this point. So I'm exactly interested in looking forward to the prefix first of all, and then the first name, and then by using ampersand, I will be able to join with respect to last name, right? So I want the prefix at the first, and you always have to make sure that you are giving a proper sequence over here. As if you're choosing first name before prefix, then prefix will be placed at the second position, and then first name will be shown at the first position. So you always have to make sure that you are following a proper sequence, right? So let us see that how exactly this full name is being created. Okay, we might would have already created. Yeah, we have already created it, right? By making the use of this tools that we were already having, inbuilt tools, right? So let us go forward with full name DAX. And there is one thing you can see over here that when I was trying to create this full name at that point of time, so at that point of time, you can see that we are having a proper space in between. Between Shannon and Carlson, we are having a proper space. But in this specific scenario, when I'm trying to create the full name with respect to DAX, I am not able to see that space, right? And that is the reason I will be adding the space now. So what exactly I will be doing is that once I'm done with my prefix, now I will be adding my space over here. So this space will be getting added just after my prefix. So once the space has been added, Then I will be making the use of this AND operator. Then I will be able to see the first name, and then I will be adding my second space, and then I will be adding my last name, right? And you can see that how many number of concatenate operation we are applying over here, or how many number of strings we are trying to join. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 number of strings we are trying to join over here, right? So if you are trying to make the use of concatenate operation for this specific scenario, you won't be able to make the use of it, right? Just because only 2 strings you can add by making the use of concatenate operation. But by making the use of ampersand, you can go forward with these 5 strings as well, and let us see that how exactly the full name is getting changed. And now a proper column we are able to get via applying this AND operator or this ampersand operator, right? So we are done with this, and let us just look upon one more practical implementation. As I was mentioning, that we can go forward with left, right as well. All right, so let us get into our table, which was giving us the information about the calendar lookup. And now, if I'm interested in looking forward to the first 3 characters from a month name, then I can again go forward with my left table. Let me create a new column over here. And let us check forward to the short month name, right? Just because keeping everything like a complete December name is not exactly being preferred most of the time, right? Like you can simply replace December by DEC or November by NOV, right? So that's why we will be keeping a short date by making the use of this left function itself. The short month we are having. Just because I want to extract the information from the left side itself, so I will be writing left over here. And now let me pass on my month name as the column. And how many number of characters I want to extract is 3, right? So short month will be having the number of characters is 3, which will be getting extracted from my month name. Let me click enter over here. And now you can see that we are able to get a proper, right? So left function is taking the values from the left side, and it is able to extract out the information from the left side itself, and the number of characters that you will be specifying from your side, that many number of characters you can see getting extracted, right? So each and every single month is getting converted in a proper format. So that's exactly how you can work with your functions. You can simply go forward with the practical implementation of each and every single function that we have described. But just because we will be mostly going forward with this left, right, or with respect to that function, with respect to that ampersand operation itself for joining the multiple strings together. So that's why I've shown you the practical implementation of it from my side. But definitely from your side as well, you can practically implement each and every single function, right? Alien is also one of the most important function that you will be coming across. Whenever you are interested in, so I will be showing you some of the practical implementation, or we will be talking about the practical implementation of alien as well. So definitely you can try out these functions from your side, and that would be all in this video, and we will be meeting you in the next video with the assignment with respect to our text functions, right? That would be all, and let us meet in the next video. So thank you. All right, guys, so let us get into our third assignment, that is regarding the text function. So let us look upon each and every single key objective that we are having. So the first key objective is mentioning that we have to update the month short column in the calendar lookup table to extract and capitalize the first 3 characters of the month name, right? So we have created a table like that, wherein we were trying to extract out the first 3 characters, but what exactly we are required to do at this point is that we have to now capitalize it as well. Like in the initial case, what exactly we were doing is that we were trying to extract out the first 3 characters, right? But at this point of time, you are not even required to extract the first 3 characters, but you have to capitalize it as well. And by capitalizing, we don't mean to say that you have to convert the first character in a capital format, but you have to convert the overall string into a capital format. So by that, we mean to say that you have to convert it into a uppercase format, right? But that is something you have to do in the first key objective, and then in the second key objective, you have to create a new column in the product lookup table itself that should have its name as SKU category, right? And that will be used to return any number of character before the first hyphen in the product SKU column, right? So it is just like that specific example, right? Wherein we were trying to extract out the data before delimiter. So we were specifying the delimiter as hyphen and then we were trying to extract out the data, right? But at this point of time, you are not required to make the use of these inbuilt functions and you have to go forward with DAX function to extract out the information, right? So these are the two assignments or these are the two objectives that you have to simply do from your side. And it's a bit easy, right? The first one is definitely easy. And you can definitely try out these objectives from your side based on the functions that we have discussed in the previous video, right? So let us meet in the next video with the solutions of these objectives. And that would be all in this video. Thank you. All right, guys. So let us get started with the solution of each and every single objective that is mentioned here. So first of all, we have to update that month short column in the calendar lookup table to extract and then to capitalize the first three characters of the month name, right? So we have already extracted out the information in my month short table or whatever name I was giving at that point of time. Just one more upgradation I'm required to do at this point, and that is to capitalize the first three characters, right? So by capitalizing, I mean to say that I will be going forward with the uppercase function, right? So let me show it to you. Let me go. So short one that I've named it over here. So one more upgradation I'm required to do over here. So let me just delete it. At this point of time, I'm not exactly interested in this. And let me just show you from scratch that how exactly you can, first of all, look forward to the extraction of first three characters from the left side. And then you can simply capitalize it. So as per the requirement, we have to name it as month short, right? So first of all, let us get into that specific month name itself. So we are having the month name first of all. And from this month name itself, we have to create the new column, right? If you're clicking over here or not, that doesn't really matter. Just you have to mention the month, the column in a proper. So let me name my column as so what exactly is the name should be there. So it should be month short. So that's how exactly we're gonna name our column. And now let us get into the extraction part. So I'm gonna make the use of the function as left. Then I have to pass on that text. So my text is present in my month name column. And then I have to extract the first three characters, right? So I'm gonna pass the second parameter as 3 over here. That will be simply specifying that I'm trying to extract out the characters as the first three characters from the left side. And then I'm interested in capitalizing it, right? So for capitalizing it, one more thing I'm required to do over here, and that is to convert it in a uppercase format. So just before this left function itself, you can simply pass on this uppercase function and you can enclose it into by making the use of this closing bracket, right? So there is so you can simply go forward with writing multiple functions at one go. That is completely up to you. Just to make it more readable, I'm gonna keep it in multiple lines and let me put the last bracket as well in the last line itself so that we can get a more better understanding. So I'm trying to capitalize or I'm trying to convert the first three characters from my month name. Uh, I'm trying to capitalize it and first of all trying to extract the first three character. Then once I'm done with the extraction, I will try to capitalize it by making the use of uppercase function, right? And I'm gonna name my column as month short. Let me press enter and let us see that whether if we are able to get a proper column or not. And you are able to see that we are able to get a proper column, right? We are able to extract the first three characters and each and every single short name is there in the capitalized format, right? So we are done with our first key objective and let us jump back into our second key objective wherein we have to simply go forward with the product lookup table and we have to create a new column over here as SKU category, right? So let us jump into our product lookup table first of all. So with respect to the product lookup table, we are having one of the column as product. What exactly it was? It was product SKU, right? So product SKU we are having as one of the column. This column we have to refer for searching over here, right? So let me now create a new column in this specific table itself and Now, once we're done with creating the new column, let us look upon that what exactly should be the name of it. So as per the requirement, we should name it as SKU category, right? And now what exactly we are required to do is that we are required to return any number of characters which are there before the hyphen, before the first hyphen, right? But just because we have to look forward to the data before the first hyphen, so we need to look upon the data that is there in the left side. That's a kind of absolute thing, right? Just because we want to get started from the beginning, definitely we will be taking the reference from the left side itself, right? So that's why I will be making the use of left function. Let me show it to you practically that first of all, let us go forward with this function that is a left function. And now I'm going to extract the first three characters. So I'm going to extract the characters which are going to be there before the first hyphen, right? So first of all, let me mention that specific table, right? As it is asking me for the text. So the table that we're going to mention over here is going to be the product SKU, right? Okay, so in our product lookup table, we are having this product SKU table, right? So once we are mentioning this, then we can extract out the information. Now, once we're done with this, now we can move forward with searching for the data. Now, this left function is simply specifying one thing that we are trying to extract the information from the left side, right? So this first thing we can mention from our side. And then the next thing that we have to look forward to is the search function, right? So search function we were discussing in the previous video that it is an important function, as you can see in the specific case itself, that why exactly it is going to be important, right? That's because you have to simply search for the data that is going to be there before the delimiter. So whenever you want to extract out the information before a delimiter, then search function is going to be that optimal function which you can make the use of. So let us go forward with that. So I have to search. First of all, you have to pass the first parameter as the text which you want to find. So I want to find my text or the delimiter as a hyphen, right? That I've specified, and then I have to specify that within text. So within text is going to be that specific column which is consisting of this hyphen. So hyphen is present in our product SKU table or in this SKU type, right? So I'm gonna mention my SKU type over here. Right? Or in the product SKUs. It is going to be there in the product SKU actually. So the product SKU are actually having this data, right? Yeah. So I will be searching for hash over here from product SKU table, and then we have to mention the start position. So just because in this specific case you will get to see one thing, and that is I'm gonna pass on the start position as -1 over. Exactly, I'm passing on -1 over here that you'll get to see when we will be coming across the result. So this is a proper way of writing this expression, right? I will show you that how exactly we are able to come across the result. And what if I'm not putting -1 over here, that what kind of result you'll get to see, that also we are going to discuss. Okay, we might would have made some kind of error. Okay, so we might would have placed a kind of comma over there, right? So there's a comma here that there's a syntax issue that you should make sure from your side that you shouldn't actually place a comma over here, but you should place a parenthesis over here. And then this is extra bracket that we are not required to put. So what exactly you're passing? You're first of all searching. So I'm making the use of your search function. What exactly I'm interested in is to look upon the data, is to search for this dash, right? I'm gonna search for this dash in this specific table, and then I'm passing this -1 as a parameter, right? So you'll get to see that why exactly we're passing on this -1 as parameter once we'll be showing you the exact value. And once I'm not exactly passing this -1, what exactly you get to see as an output, that you can also look upon, right? All right, so you can see that we are getting the proper SKU category, right? We are able to get the SKU category wherein we are extracting out the information from the left side before the dash or before the hyphen. All right, so if I'm not exactly passing this -1 over here, then let us see that what kind of solution we can expect out of it. So you can see that if I'm not exactly going forward with removing the last character, then I will be able to get the hyphen as well. And that is not exactly something I'm searching for, right? What exactly I'm searching for is the text before the hyphen. And that's why I'm not interested in the first three characters, but I'm interested in the first two characters. That's why just because I want to eliminate the last character that is there. So out of the three characters, just because I'm interested in the first two characters, that's why I will be passing on the value as -1 over here. So that only the first two characters out of three you will get to see. And let me just pass on -1 over here, and then you'll get to see the changes. That is, you are able to extract out the information from the product SKU table that is there before the first hyphen, right? So we are done with our search function as well, and with respect to our text functions as well. And now we are completely done with respect to our text functions practical implementation and the assignment as well. And from the next video onwards, we will be moving forward with our next function category, right? So that would be all in this assignment solution, and we will be meeting you in the next video with our next function category. So thank you. All right, guys, so let us get started with our next category of functions, that is date and time functions. So we have already explored that we are having one of the table as calendar lookup, which is consisting of these important columns, right? That is giving us a description about the date. So definitely we should explore some functions from our side that will be helping us out to extract out some important information from the date column, right? So we have already explored some of the inbuilt tools which are there in Power BI, which we can make the use of to extract some important information from these date columns, but let us have a look upon that how exactly we can make the use of DAX to simply go forward with extracting the important information from my date column itself. So the first function that we are going to have is going to be today and now. So mostly we used to keep it in the same category itself, just because most of these both of these functions are having the similar kind of syntax. So today and now are having similar kind of syntax wherein you don't even need to pass your parameter, right? There is no such parameter which you're required to pass. And this will be giving you the description about the today's date and what is the exact time at this point, right? So if you're making the use of this function, you'll get to see today's date and the current time. So whatever today's date is, that you will get to see, and along with that, you will get to see your current time as well. So it returns current time and today's date, right? So that is something you'll get to see why I'm making the use of this function. In a similar way, you can have day, month, or year you can have. So you can make the use of these specific functions as well. So you might would have came across this month name as in SQL as well, which will be helping you out to extract the information about the month that is there in the date column, right? So already in SQL we have come across this specific column, or we have come across this specific function which is giving us the details about the month that is there in the date. In a similar way, in Power BI itself, you can simply go forward with this month function, and that will be giving you the insight about what exactly is the month that is described in my given date. In a similar way, what exactly is the year that is described in my given date, along with that, what is the day in that month. So that information you will be able to extract. So you can simply go forward with writing this function. Day is going to be function name, and you have to pass date as a parameter over here. In a similar way, month is going to be the function name. You have to pass the date as the parameter. In a similar way, you can go forward with writing year as the function name, and date you have to pass as the parameter. And this will be giving you the information about the day, month, or year. But one thing you have to make look forward to over here, that when day will be returned. So day will be so it returns day as from 1 to 31, right? Just because the day will be there in the month from 1 to 31, right? So that's why that numerical value you'll get to see. In a similar way for month, you will get to see the value from 1 to 12, right? And year, you can obviously make a guess that whatever is going to be the numerical value of the year that you will get to see. So once we're done with this as well, we can move forward with the next function, that is hour, minute, and second. So you can see that at this point of time, we are considering my time information, right? So if you're interested in extracting out the time details from your given value, then you can simply go forward with this. You can simply make the use of this function, and this will be giving you the insight that whatever is your date. So for example, if you're having a column which is giving you the insight about the date time, then this specific function will be simply ignoring that date, and it will be focusing upon the time value itself. And from the time value, it will be extracting out at what is the month is being shown, what is the minute, and what is the second, right? So it works in a similar way, just like the day, month, year, just like day, month, or year was extracting out the information from my date column. In a similar way, this hour, minute, or second will be extracting out the information from my time column, right? Or we can call it as date time. So a similar kind of syntax you will get to see. You have to simply go forward with writing the function name as R, and you have to pass on date time as your column over here. In a similar way, you can pass minute over here, and then you can pass on the parameter as date time. And in a similar way, you can simply go forward with writing this function as second, and you can simply pass date time as your third parameter, right? So this will be giving you the complete insight about whatever is your hour, minute, or second, right? So that idea you can get over here, and in a similar way, just like the previous function was working, as the day was getting returned from 1 to 31, in a similar way, hour will be described from 0 to 23 over here. So not exactly it is getting started from 1, but it is getting started from 0 to 23, right? So that idea you can get over here, just like the clock used to work. In a similar way, if you're interested in getting the insight about minute, then minute will be shown from 0 to 59. Again, just like the clock used to work, and in a similar way, you will get to see your second as well, right? So second will be again shown from 0 to 59 as a numerical value. So this is something you can get whenever you are going to work with the date time kind of column, and then you can simply go forward with the next type and that or next function, that is week, day, or week number. Right, so this a specific function we will be going forward with in our practical implementation as well, that is the weekday. So weekday will be giving you an important insight, and that is going to be the number. So for example, in your week, if you're if you want to start the week from Sunday, then you're going to assign a number to Sunday, that is 1. And then Monday will be assigned as 2, Tuesday will be assigned as 3. So just like that, in a numeric format, you will get to see the numeric values attached to each and every single day of the week from 1 to 7. So it completely depends upon that what exactly you're choosing as your starting day from the week, and as per that the numbers will be getting assigned to these days, right? So we will be exploring about these things, that what do we exactly mean when we are saying that how we are getting started with choosing the day, right? That whether if you are going forward with Monday or Sunday or Tuesday as my start day. So we will be exploring about this in the practical implementation as well. But first of all, let me give you the syntax for it. So in the first parameter, you have to pass as a date. So whatever column is having that date, that you can pass over here. And then you can simply pass on the return type over here. So return type will be simply signifying this thing that how do we want our month to get started, right? That is something you will get to see when we will be looking into the practical implementation of it. So just like the weekday, you can have the similar syntax for week number as well, that you can see over here. right? So in a similar way, just like you're calculating the weekday, in a similar way, you can calculate the week number as well. You can simply pass on the first parameter as the column, which is having date, and then you can pass on the value. For example, if you're passing the return type as one, right? That if you're specifying from your side, then you can simply look forward to that how exactly your day is getting started, whether if it is getting started from Monday or if it is getting started from Tuesday, and how the numbers are getting assigned to the day of the week. So these things will become more clear to you when we will be looking into the practical implementation of it. Let us jump into our next function that we are having, and that is E of month, right? This will be giving you the insight about the end of month. So whatever is going to be the date that is there in the end of the month, that you will get to see via making the use of this function. So simply by making the use of this function, you can get the insight about the end of month with respect to this specific month that you are in, that is the current month, or you can simply go forward with the end of month date with respect to the previous month, or you can go forward with the end of month date with respect to our next month as well. So this idea you can get over here. First of all, let me show you the syntax. So this year of month, you have to first of all pass on the start date, that is going to be the column, and then you can simply pass on your month value over here, right? As second parameter. So if you're keeping month as 0, so for example, if you're keeping your month as 0, then you can see that for month equals to 0, you are trying to get the end of the month date with respect to your current month, which you are in, right? So for current month, you can go forward with month equals to 0. But for example, if you're interested in the last date of your previous month, then you can simply keep the value of this month as -1 as a second parameter. So you will get to see the details with respect to the previous month last date. And if you're interested in the last date of the next month, then you can simply keep the value of month as +1. And that will be giving you the insight about the end of month date with respect to your next upcoming month, right? So for next month, you can get the insight via keeping the value as +1 over here. Right, so this is something you can do from your side, and then finally we will be having our sixth function, and that is the last function, that is date diff. So date diff, as the name states, it will be giving you the insight about the difference in between the two dates. So for example, if you're passing on the first parameter as the first date and the second parameter as the second date, and you want to see that what is the difference in between these two dates in terms of days, right? That idea if you want to get, then definitely you can go forward with these functions. Practically also you can see these things, right? If you're just interested in looking forward to the difference in the two dates, then you can simply go forward with passing on the parameter over here as a values, right? So let me show you the syntax. So you have to simply go forward with writing the function name as date diff. You have to pass on the first date as the first parameter, then date 2 as the second parameter, and finally you can pass on the interval as the third parameter over here. So now this third parameter that you're passing as the interval, that will be simply specifying the R. So for example, if you're even interested in looking forward to R, year, or any other information, that what is the difference between date 1 and date 2, and that how many number of R's are there, with, which happened from date 2. So that idea you can also put with respect to your intervals. So in your interval, you will be passing the number of R's that you have spent from date 2, right? So this is something you can get. So today now we'll be giving you the insight about current time and today's date, day, month, year will be helping you, will be behaving as a kind of component kind of function, right? So we used to call these kind of functions as a component function just because it is describing a component of the date. And then just like that, hour, minute, and second is also kind of component function, which is giving you the insight about the component of the time. In a similar way, you can have weekday, week num, which will be giving you the insight about what exactly is the number that can be assigned to the day of the current week. In a similar way, you can get the insight about the end of the month, and then you can calculate the difference in between the two given months as well, right? In the two given dates as well, right? So these are going to be the six functions that you are going to have with respect to a date time column. And now let us go forward with the practical implementation of these functions, right? So we will be showing you the practical implementation of one of the function that we were talking about, and that is weekday. So let us jump into our table view. Now, with respect to our calendar lookup table, we are having one of the column which is giving the insight about the start of week, right? The start of week is having the value as, so you can already see over here that we are having the insight that when exactly my week is getting started. So you can see the date over here. So with respect to this column itself, we will be able to figure out that what exactly is my number that I can assign to each and every single day of the week. And based on that number that I will be assigning to the day of the week, you can also figure out one thing, and that is whether if this specific date is a weekend or whether if this specific date is a weekday. So that important insight you can as well as get via making the use of via assigning these numbers to the weekday, right? That is something we will be exploring in this implementation. It's yeah, but for that, I think we need first of all explore those tools which will be giving us the proper insight that when exactly is our day is getting started or when exactly our week is getting started. What is the value which is corresponding to that week, and as per that, we will be showing you the proper DAX code, right? So what exactly I'm saying, I will be showing it to you via making the use of this transform data option. So let us just jump into this, and when we are going to transform the data, you will get to see one of the option over here, and that is we are trying to extract out some information from my date column, right? So with respect to my calendar lookup table, you can have this column that is date column, and from this we can simply go forward with this add column option. And now with respect to my date option, you can simply go forward with extracting out the information with the name of the day, right? So now at the end, you can see that we are having the information about the day name. So that means that if the date is 1st of January 2020, then for that specific date, the day name is coming out to be as Wednesday. But what exactly we're interested in at this point is to simply get this idea that what exactly should be the number that should be assigned to Wednesday. So on that basis, we can simply come up with this answer that whether if this specific row date is coming out to be a weekend or whether if it is coming out to be a weekday, right? Just because we are interested in that specific insight, first of all, let me show you that what we are exactly trying to figure out over here. So let me simply go forward with my date column again, and let us go forward with the date tool over here. And now what we are trying to extract over here is the date. So you can see one thing over here, or not exactly the day we can extract out. We can simply go forward with the day of week, right? Let us go forward with this date tool, and we are trying to extract out the information with respect to the day of the week. So this is important. This is a kind of important insight that you should focus upon, just because one thing you can see over here that there's going to be a kind of important insight that we can make sure from our side, and that is if our value for day of week is coming out to be as 0 or 6, right? Then we can simply make sure, then we can simply create a column wherein for the value as 0 or 6, we are going to consider those specific dates as a weekend. But if it is coming out to be as 1 to 5, then we can simply consider those specific days as our weekday. So that's why assigning a number to each and every single day is quite important, right? So that you can get the idea about that whether if that specific date is a weekend or whether if that specific date is a weekday, right? So that is something we are trying to extract from our side by making the use of weekday function or by making the use of this week num function, right? So let us not go forward with this by extracting out the information that is already there, right? And what exactly we can do at this point is that let us just save these changes. Now we are having the insight about the day name, and now we can get started by saving these changes. And then we will be looking into our front end that how exactly we can make the use of this weekday function to assign a value to each and every single day, so that we can come up with this conclusion that that specific day is coming out to be as a weekend or whether if that specific date is coming out to be a weekday, right? So once you're done with that, you can see the day name that will be assigned to each and every single row over here. And now once we are done with that, now we will be getting started with looking into that what exactly is our day num, right? Or weekday. So let us first of all create a new column over here. And we can name this column as we can call it as weekday, or we can call it as let us go with, so let us name it as day of week. All right. And now for day of week column, what exactly we are trying to extract over here is the weekday, right? So what exactly I'm interested in at this point is to assign a number to each and every single day name that we are having over here. So what column that I will be looking forward to is going to be that specific date column, right? So in my calendar lookup table, I'm having the date column, and from this I will be trying to look for. So one thing over you can see over here that when we were discussing about this function, we were discussing about that there is going to be a second parameter that we have to pass, right? So for example, if you're passing the second parameter over here as 1, then you will get to see that on passing 1 as a second parameter, your Sunday will be assigned as 1 and your Saturday will be assigned as 7. In a similar way, if you're going forward with assigning 2 over here, then you will get to see that your Monday will be assigned as 1 and Sunday will be assigned as 7. In a similar way, if you're passing the second parameter as 3, then Monday will be assigned as 0 and Saturday will be assigned as 6. Right? So I think it's always a kind of good practice to go forward with keeping 2 as the default value over here. That is mostly being preferred, right? So that you can simply come to this conclusion that with respect to your weekend and weekday, if the value for day of week is coming out to be a 6 or 7, then we can simply make a conclusion that that specific date is coming out to be a weekend, right? So let us go forward with passing 2 over here. Let me close it. And now let us see the values getting assigned to each and every single day name, right? Okay, one thing we can do over here, we can keep it, there is no point to keep it in a kind of complete uppercase format, right? That is what we are doing with respect to our name of the column. Okay, so now we have extracted out the information that is corresponding to the day of the week. And now if we are having the value as 6 or 7, then we can simply consider, we can simply create a new column that will be giving us this insight that whether if it is a weekend or whether if it is a weekday, right? So let us get into that. We will be going forward with our calendar lookup table. Now let us create a new column over here. And now we will be creating a new column that will be giving the insight about that whether if it is a weekend or whether if it is a weekday. Right, so this is going to be a column name, and let us go forward with writing our if clause itself, right? So there is no such kind of uh, a tough kind of function that we're going to make the use of. We are just going forward with the if clause. So if the value for day of week is coming out to be as 6, and you might remember that we were using these double pipe kind of sign, right, for putting a or kind of condition. So this double pipe kind, so this pipe kind of symbol you get to see above your enter button. So this is something you can put over here. And then similarly, if your calendar lookup day of week, day of week is coming out to be as 7 as well. Then we can simply put this condition that it is a weekend. Otherwise, we can simply keep it as weekday, right? So if these values are coming out to be a 6 or 7, then we will be keeping the value of our weekday as weekend. And if it is coming out to be from 1 to 5, then we will be keeping it as weekday, right? So let me press enter over here. And now we will get to see that whether if the specific date is coming out to be as weekend or weekday on the basis of the date assigned to that specific column itself, right? So you can see that how cool it is to get to know that whether if the given date is coming out to be as weekend or weekday. That is also something you can find from your side, right? And there is also one thing you can do over here from your side, and that is you can go forward with that in function that we were referring to, right? So there is going to be an in function that you can make the use of, wherein you are not exactly required to write these multiple or clause, as you can simply keep everything in your if in your in list itself, and that will be putting these multiple or condition, right? So if your calendar lookup day of week is coming out to be a 6 or 7, right? So for example, if your calendar lookup day of week is coming out to be in 6 or 7, then we will be making sure that that specific date will be defined as a weekend. And if it is not coming out to be a 6 or 7, then we will be specifying it as weekday, right? So this is another way of writing multiple or clause. You can simply go forward with writing in, and then and then inside these parentheses, you will be specifying all of the multiple or condition that you were putting in the previous example, right? So let us see if it is working fine or not. Let me click enter over here. And yeah, we are again getting the same kind of values, right? A proper value is now still being assigned for 7. We are getting a weekend. For weekday as 1, we are getting for day of week as 1, we are getting weekday, right? So again, a proper kind of weekend or weekday value is getting assigned over here, even if I'm going forward with this in, right? And that's exactly how these date and time columns or date and time functions used to work whenever you are having any of the column which is giving you the insight about date, right? So definitely you can try out these functions from your side as well, and we will be meeting you in the next video with the assignment corresponding to these functions, right? It will be a kind of short assignment, and then from that point on, we will be moving forward with our next set of functions. So that would be all in this video, and we will be meeting you in the next video with the short assignment, right? So thank you. All right, guys. So let us look into our fourth assignment. So it's just consisting of a single key objective, right? So what exactly you are required to do from your side is that you can simply create a new column in the customer lookup table. And there is a column and the name of the column you will be mentioning from your side as birth year. And then that will be extracting out the year from your birth date column. So in the customer lookup table itself, you are going to have one of the column which will be having its name as birth date, and from that birth date you simply have to extract out the year that is mentioned over there, right? So whatever is going to be the year of birth for the specific customer that you are required to extract out. So it's a pretty easy one, right? We have already shown you that how exactly you can go forward with these component function which are there in Power BI, right? Just make the use of year function. You can simply pass on the date column over there, and from there itself you will get to see the year getting extracted from the birth date column, right? So it's a pretty easy one. Definitely you can try out from this side and you will be able to do it mostly. So we will be meeting you in the next video with the solution of this key objective. So thank you. All right, guys. So let us get into the solution of our fourth assignment, and that is to come up with the birth year as per the birth date, right? So in the customer lookup table itself, we are having one of the column that is giving us the insight about the birth date. So you simply have to go forward with the year function, and then in that year function, the parameter you will be passing is going to be the birth date. And from that itself, you will be able to come up with the birth year, right? So let us look into that. Let me click on my customer lookup table. Let us go forward with the new column. And as soon as you're going to click on new column, you will get to see that what exactly the name we should provide to it. So the name to the column is going to be birth year. You have to make the use of year function. You have to pass on the date as from the customer lookup table itself, and that is going to be the birth date, right? This is something you can pass. Year function you have to make the use of. You have to pass on the birth date as a parameter over here. And from there itself, you will get to see your new column, and that is giving us the insight about the birth year, right? Let us look into that. Let me click enter over here. Let us see what exactly we are getting. So birth year is getting created over here. We are able to see that what exactly is the birth year of each and every single customer, right? 1964 is coming out to be the birth year for Shannon Carlson, and it's appropriate, right? Let us see for Shane Fernandez. So let us not go for, let us go with Johnny Anand, right? So for Johnny Anand, the birth date is 14 June 1965, and the birth year for Johnny Anand is also 1965, right? It's appropriate, it's easy, and you can definitely go forward with this solution if you were not able to do it. And let us meet in the next video with some more important insights. So thank you.